All right, hey guys, what's up? It's Tim with the Juice in Your Facility Programming. I want to go over our upcoming testing week and the summer 2020 training cycle. We're finally here. We toughed through some hard times. We're still putting things out in a way that will adjust with whatever the landscape is. We know as we're recording it now, people are open. Some people are reclosing. Different requirements are coming out. So we're being as nimble as we can with that and keeping in mind where your clients currently are, their overall goals, how to get them there, how the adjustments we need to make to get them there to keep it good for them is always number one. What the right training is, keeping it fun, exciting, engaging, helping coaches leverage their time to make really awesome classes, all those things we're taking into account. So without further ado, I'm going to go over the first thing will be our priorities for the cycle. I'll go on my screen. Second thing is going to be the actual testing week, what our priority testers are and how that helps us. First thing is obviously our testing week is going to be this July 13th to 18th. We have 4 small blocks in it that will lead up to the CrossFit Open, what they say is October 10th to November 11th. Whether that's a priority for you or not as a gym owner, it will lead up there. We always run a regular cycle through that time, right? So everyone can adjust that with how we write the workout so you can make it through the Open as well, whether you just have participation or it's a big deal in your community there. So that's why we have it set up that way. So the cycle, actually the last testing week will be September 28 to October 2. So mark that date down. September 28 to October 2nd is summer 2020 retesting cycle. So you'll notice it is a shorter cycle. Couple reasons. One, we want to get some testing data back in and some PRs and things back in the gym a little sooner than normal. Because people have been doing a lot of, say, body weight training and maybe a little more endurance training at home and muscle endurance, they should see some rapid progress on these lifts too. So they'll get a little bit of a beginner bump to them. In there, we have our different cycles, block 1, block 2, block 3, block 4. I'll have those dates out for you. But we will, in that middle block, the 2 out of 3 block, it'll be a 4-week cycle instead of 3. And so we're going to alternate Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, instead of Monday for 3, and then changing priorities. It'll alternate Monday, then next day will be Tuesday, then back to Monday, then Tuesday for that 4-week cycle. So it's not just a whole month of the same thing. 3 weeks is good and important. You can't do less than that, in my opinion, but longer than that starts to wear a little bit on some people. So we're cognizant of that. Summer training cycle focuses. There will be higher volume gymnastics and aerobic and muscle endurance integration on the front end of this. That will transition to higher skill on the back end. So you'll see some of the tests we're going to go over are skill tests, but they're unfatigue based skill tests. Meaning we're not handstand walking in a workout right now. We're just trying to define their starting point. We will integrate those into workouts later on. That's how it works. There will be some lactic power and lactic endurance and kind of mixed modal nasty pieces here. So Fran's coming up in this cycle, absolutely, and stuff like that. That's why you'll see the row 4 sets of 30-30, 30 on 30 off for max effort meters, 3-minute max calories on the air bike, one time through trying to get your body weight in pounds equivalent to the calories you produce in those tests. So those are all very hard, unsustainable pieces for most people there. So we want to do that, and they will go into mixed at the end. So not only do we get better at Fran, better at these things, but you also get an overall absolute better score too. So you're better on the cyclical, you're better in mixed modal, you're overall a fitter, healthier person. Longer battery pieces will be coming up, as well as strength, speed, capacity, and battery. So one of our tests is going to be for load, 3 power cleans into 3 front squats into 3 shoulder overhead. High time under tension, sub-maximal, not exactly a 1 rep max only lift. So we will be focusing a lot on absolute strength endurance continually. That's always a big part for us in here. But then it's the expression of that to raise the ceiling, and then we'll stretch it out to something, say, like a macho man or a variation of that. But that's the idea. That's the popular method we've used in the past, so you know what we're talking about. Here, that'll be how we bring them up to where they can do repeated heavy things that would be battery for them. Well, it's not. Now they're making those contractions less battery and a little more sustainable, which is going to lead to better output in the workouts. And that's why one of our testers is diabolical. 50 squat cleans for time, every minute on the top of the minute, 10 double unders, right? That's one. And then finally, the benchmarks are coming up in Helen. Because it's aerobic power, because we're going to go from high gymnastics volume into skill, we always want to start with a high base of work. You whittle that into intensity, right? Volume first, then intensity, right? After we've obviously achieved structural balance and precursors, which are the last two things we're going to talk about. That is our starting point. So the other two tests we have in addition to Helen are the 5-minute AMRAP of strict pull-ups into strict handstand push-ups or push-ups, or 2 dumbbell seated press. We know handstand push-up is one that for some group of your clients is a really great test overall, but for some people, seated press is going to be a better test, or just push-ups will be better for them where they're at, right? That's why we always have fitness, performance, and sport variations every workout with appropriate loading for everyone and exercise selection. So there's that. The final day is our structural balance test. So rear foot elevated split squat along with single arm vertical press, bent over row, equivalent to single arm dumbbell bench press, and then your 3-minute max cal. So that is that. Without further ado, now again, I'm going to show you the screen and we'll just take a look at it really quickly here. Okay, so Monday we are starting off with 2 options, either snatching or a snatch grip deadlift. So depending on where you sit for your clients, whether you want absolute strength or strength speed, you have a great option there. And then a short intensity piece at part B. But for snatching, I think it's something, like I said, I'm not of the snowflake mentality that, oh, we can't ever, you can snatch, your arms will fall off. Yeah, if you don't know what you're doing and you can't do a prone plank for this long, and you can't do a pal raise for a certain amount relative to your bench press, and you can't do X, Y, and Z, and you can't hold float overhead. Yeah, but you should know that about your clients. We're doing the testing on them to find that out as well, that that's where they're at. So if they can earn their contractions, yeah, snatching's fine, right? Also something at home we haven't done for a long time. So there should be a big base of muscle endurance support that we've built to help do that. Tuesday is some new stuff. We're starting off with 3 big gymnastics skill tests. Like I said, skill in unfatigued environment, L-sit hold for core stability, a handstand walk, that is that overhead hold position, unfatigued best of 3 attempts, or a wall facing handstand hold, and a ring support hold, max effort 1 time. Into the 2 5-minute AMRAPs, strict pull-ups into strict handstand push-ups. Big score, we want 60 and 60. Intermediate and 60 reps pull-up, 60 reps strict handstand push-up. That's big boy, big girl pant status. Below that, 40 and 20 is really good. And then we have scores below each of those, obviously, and for just ring row and push-up, if neither of those tests would be appropriate. Down to rowing. 4 sets, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. Everyone's doing this. Everyone's doing it. You're scoring in meters. You rest on the rower. It takes 4 minutes. You'll have time to clean everything up between efforts. Your scores, your first thing you're trying to look for is you're trying to get the first output to be at their body weight or higher. That means they have enough power. That is their anaerobic power we're trying to measure. So they're going powerfully enough. Once they can get that, obviously we want to see fall off. There should be some fall off on here. So we're looking for 100%, 95%, 92%, and then 90% of the fall off of those is what we're looking for there. So I have the metrics in there and what different groups we'll be looking for power output. Wednesday is our power clean complex. 1 set every 2 minutes, power clean, 3 of them, 3 front squats, unbroken 3-shouldered overhead. And then we have a CP battery and kind of muscle endurance with squat clean test, 50 squat cleans for time, 10 double unders at the start of every minute. It's called diabolical. It is good for leg and muscle endurance that will transfer to higher rep wall ball, things like that, higher up squatting on that end. After a couple short pieces, after the 4 sets of rowing and the CP battery piece on Wednesday, we go into long, lower contraction, mixed modal piece, constant COVID variance 19. All the changes coming up. It's a workout that could be done anywhere, really. It's shuttle runs or air bike. Shuttle runs, great, or burpees and box jumps and a single arm push press and V-ups or sit-ups, and then a single arm carry, out, back, 35 minutes of that, rest 60 seconds. So we should be having things move nonstop in this workout. Okay. From there, that's our long one, 35 minutes. Now it's overhead squat into aerobic threshold power and Helen. right? If people can't overhead squat or that's not appropriate for them, they're doing goblet squat, some of our precursor tests for 20 reps, right? Really is probably one of my favorite tests there is. 20% body weight, 33% body weight. Your goal is 50% body weight for 20 reps, unbroken. Down, up, down, up. That's what I'm looking for. They can do that well and they want performance or sport. Well, then overhead squat is going to be something we compare to power snatch, and I would expect that their overhead squat should be higher than that. So we're looking for correlations across all their testing. If their overhead squat is not higher, well, then that's a good sign of what? Maybe mobility, maybe stability, maybe technique, some things that we have to look at. Into Helen, aerobic power classic, right? Don't need to talk about Helen, you get it. Put these pieces together, winner on the track, go hard. Right, a higher output than constant variance, but a lower output than, say, what's coming up tomorrow with our structural balance tests and our 3-minute max calories on the air bike. We have functional bodybuilding for part A, split squats and single arm vertical press. Part B is pull and push for 8 reps. Everyone's doing these. I have the norms on there for you of what we're looking for in our testing data. And then part C is air bike 3 minutes max calories. The big goal is 50% for the men of their body weight equivalent to the calories they produce in 3 minutes. So if you're 200, I want 100. If you're 150, I want 75. Pretty challenging. And for women, it's 40% of that. Advanced would be 40 and 33%. Intermediate, 33 and 25%. And the beginners, we're looking for 25% body weight and 20% body weight women. That means if someone's 200 pounds, can they get 50 calories, which is very hard. That would be still very high. And you tell that that would be meaning if you can get that, I would say you're probably not a beginner anymore. You pass it, that's the starting beginner. That would be the end of a beginner. That would be someone getting 17 calories every minute. They're producing some force. That person probably also can do what? They can do a goblet squat probably with 33% of their body weight, maybe even 50%. That person can probably now, you see what I'm saying, how we're seeing how they can produce some effort against the resistance. And that is our testing week. I hope you're excited about it as I am. Let me know if you have any questions and let's go crush it. All right, guys, thank you.